ask you something. How many times have you started something with full energy, a new goal, a new routine, a promise to yourself, only to find that within weeks, sometimes even days, the fire begins to fade? You know what I'm talking about? That diet plan that was supposed to change your body, that business idea that was meant to transform your life, that meditation routine that was supposed to bring peace. We all begin with the best intentions, but the real test is not how you start, it's how you stay on track. The ability to drive your mind forward even when it resists, even when distractions appear. That's what separates those who drift from those who rise. Let's begin with this thought. The mind is like a wild horse. Untamed, it will run in every direction, chasing comfort, chasing temptation, chasing distraction. But if you learn how to take the reins, if you can steer it with purpose, then that same wild energy becomes unstoppable power. The question is, how do you hold the reins? How do you stay on track when everything inside you wants to give up, slow down, or wander away? Now, let me take you back to a classic example, a warrior from history who understood the art of discipline. Alexander the Great. By the age of 30, he had conquered much of the known world. But what's interesting is not just the battles he won, but how he stayed relentlessly focused despite temptations of wealth, comfort, and surrender. One story says that when his soldiers grew tired and wanted to rest after victories, Alexander reminded them that victory was not the end, it was only the beginning of the next challenge. He had the ability to keep his men on track by keeping their minds engaged in the vision ahead. That's the first lesson. To drive the mind, you must place a vision in front of it that is bigger than comfort. But let's also look at a modern example. Think of someone like Kobe Bryant, known as the Black Mamba. His entire career was built on staying on track when others would slip. While other players partied after games, Kobe was back in the gym at 4 a.m., practicing the same shots thousands of times. He said once, "I can't relate to lazy people. We don't speak the same language." That's the power of staying on track. When the noise of life says relax, the disciplined mind says stay locked in. But how does this actually work inside us? Let's turn to the science. The brain is wired to seek dopamine, that instant hit of pleasure. That's why scrolling through your phone feels easier than reading a book. That's why ordering fast food feels easier than cooking a healthy meal. The mind is like water. It flows to the easiest path. But here's the secret. The brain also rewires itself through repetition. Every time you force yourself to stick to your goal, to go for that run, to resist that distraction, to sit and meditate, you are strengthening the neural pathways of discipline. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. In simple terms, your brain becomes whatever you repeatedly do. If you train distraction, you'll be distracted. If you train focus, you'll be focused. Now let's shift to the spiritual side. Every major tradition speaks about the power of the mind. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, "The mind is both your best friend and your worst enemy." In Buddhism, it is taught that to conquer oneself is greater than winning 1,000 battles. And in the Bible, the Apostle Paul writes about running the race with perseverance, not being swayed by the things of the flesh. Different cultures, same truth. If you want to stay on track, you must master the mind, or the mind will master you. But let me bring this closer to home with something personal. There was a time in my own life when I was easily pulled off track. I would begin with excitement, whether in business or in personal health, but the smallest obstacle would shake me. I would look for shortcuts, easy ways around the hard work. And what happened? The results never came. It was only when I learned that every goal is a battle against my own mind that things changed. Once I stopped blaming others, once I took full accountability, I realized that the only enemy was the lack of discipline within myself. So, how do we build that discipline? How do we stay on track when temptation and distraction come knocking? Let me give you some practical steps. Number one, create a vision so strong it pulls you. If your goal is just about looking good, you'll give up. But if your goal is about being healthy so you can live longer for your children, or about building a business so you can serve thousands, that vision will carry you when motivation fades. Number two, break big goals into daily actions. The mind panics when the mountain seems too high. But if you tell yourself, all I need to do today is take one step, suddenly the impossible feels possible. That's how you trick the mind into moving forward. Number three, train your environment. Don't keep junk food in your kitchen if you want to eat clean. Don't keep your phone by your bed if you want to wake up early. Make your environment serve your discipline, not fight against it. Number four, learn to sit with discomfort. This is a big one. Most people quit because something feels uncomfortable. But the truth is, discomfort is the price of growth. Every rep in the gym, every hour in study, every meditation session, it's all uncomfortable at first. But if you can train your mind to embrace it, you'll unlock strength most people never touch. Number five, accountability. Find someone you can check in with, someone who reminds you of the standard you've set. Left alone, the mind will always find excuses. But with accountability, you rise to a higher level. Let's pause for a moment. If you're still with me right now, it means you're serious about staying on track and mastering your mind. So do me a quick favor. If this message resonates with you, hit the like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel so we can grow this community together. Now let's continue. Let me share another classic story that shows what it really means to drive the mind. The samurai of ancient Japan had a code called Bushido, the way of the warrior. Discipline wasn't just about battle, it was about daily life. Every act, from how they tied their sandals to how they bowed before elders, was done with focus. Why? Because they believed that if the mind is trained in small things, it will be sharp in big things. That's a lesson we can use today. If you can discipline yourself in the little habits, making your bed, showing up on time, keeping promises to yourself, then when the big battles of life come, you'll be ready. Now let's compare that to a modern story. Think of Elon Musk. Whatever you think of him, you can't deny his ability to stay on track with vision. He has faced failures that would crush most people. Rockets exploding, companies nearly bankrupt, but he kept going. Why? Because his mind was locked on something bigger, the future of humanity. When your purpose is that large, the mind doesn't get lost in small setbacks. But here's a hidden truth most people don't realize. Staying on track is less about motivation and more about systems. Motivation is like a spark. It feels powerful but burns out quickly. Systems are like an engine. They keep moving even when you don't feel like it. That's why creating daily rituals is so important. Whether it's waking up at the same time, journaling every morning, or exercising at set hours, these systems carry you when willpower is weak. And remember this, your mind will always try to bargain with you. It will say, just one day off, just one slice of cake, just one missed session, but one becomes two, two becomes 10, and before you know it, you're off track. The strongest people are not those who never feel this temptation, but those who hear the voice and say, not today. That simple choice, repeated daily, creates an unbreakable mind. Let's also not forget the role of gratitude in this journey. Staying on track is not just about discipline, it's about energy, and nothing fuels energy like gratitude. When you wake up and focus on what you already have, your health, your family, the opportunity of another day, your mind shifts from lack to abundance. And from abundance, discipline feels lighter. You are no longer forcing yourself. You are choosing with joy to stay aligned with your purpose. As we move toward closing, let me leave you with this reflection. Life will always try to pull you off track. Distractions will come, failures will sting, comfort will whisper in your ear, but the greatest victory you will ever win is over your own mind. If you can master that battle, nothing outside you can defeat you. So the question is not whether you will face temptation, distraction, and resistance. You will. The question is, will you hold the reins of your mind, or will you let it drag you wherever it pleases? That choice will define your future. Stay on track. Drive your mind. Because the world doesn't need another person who started with good intentions and gave up halfway. The world needs you to finish the race, to rise, to lead, to conquer yourself first. Don't forget to share this message, like the video, and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. And as always, remember, your greatest power is already within you. All you have to do is take the reins.